Gotta get that thumbnail picture. Try to flex the abdominals like these guys do in these pictures where they weigh like 140 pounds and they take a picture of their abs. Sugar diet, my experience with it. When it first came out, I mean, it's been out literally forever, but when Cole really started pushing it, I say past 2 months, 3 months. People who aren't familiar with dieting think it's like revolutionary. And it's like, oh, you just eat carbs, you eat the sweet stuff, you eat it, and the weight falls off of you. And it's the same thing that's going to happen, or that has happened with people on carnivore, where they come in, they do this diet, and they're like, oh my God, the weight just fell off of me, and then they hit a stall. Which, when sort of Cole describes it, the stall, like it's a bad thing, it could be if you still have a weight loss goal you want to hit, right? So maybe you switch over to the sugar diet, and then that stall keeps going from stalling, of course, to your weight goal, right? Because you always got to have a weight goal, a weight loss goal. You don't just want to lose weight forever, and you don't just want to gain weight forever. You want to have a goal. So when I was coming into it, I was like, well, let's see if I can lose some fat with it, lose some weight with it, and feel relatively okay in my workouts. So for the past month, that's what I've been doing. I'm trying to get stricter with not having any protein on the sugar fast days. I think the lowest I've gone is like 80 to 60 grams of protein, and that's just from having beans with that, because I like to have beans that has protein in it, and a little bit of protein powder, or maybe like a protein bar or something like that, once or twice a day. And with the beans, that adds up to like 70 to 100 grams of protein. But carb wise, just looking at it today, I feel like if I eat around 500 grams of carbs ish, around that, as long as like I have a base of watermelon as my base, I don't really feel hungry. So that means maybe like 600 to 800 calories is going to come from watermelon, which is a lot of food volume for me. And then the rest is just from sugary stuff. So I'll have apple pie filling, which is full sugar, by the way. I'll have maybe some sort of sugar drink, some sort of candy or something. I won't shy away from that. Cereal, which isn't necessarily a part of the sugar diet because they get worked up on the starches. But to me, when you get to that point, you're kind of splitting hairs, because the sugar diet is a catchphrase, really, right? It's a catchphrase for people to use because they think it means something like like the word in itself has power, and it really doesn't. The sugar diet is just an all carb diet that consists of fruits, sugary drinks, candy, if you will. Again, I still don't think that's a good idea to do candy. Just do fruit, because you're gonna feel better, you're gonna feel fuller on it. Fruit juices, and they don't really include the starches, because that's where Cole Robinson comes in. He's like, so you're gonna have these sugar fast days of pure carbs. You don't add any protein, you don't add any fat, and then you'll have your fat or your meat days with protein and vegetables. So what I've done, and this was actually easy. I did it whole last week. This week's a little different because events going on. But last week, I was able to, on the days I had off, were just like sugar days. Sugar days with protein here and there. And then on the days I worked, I just did straight eggs. That might sound insane, but I literally just did straight eggs. So I was eating 3 or 4 eggs for breakfast, and then I'd wait, have a little bit more. And then if I didn't feel like eating any more eggs, I didn't eat them. And then I'd go all the way through work, which is, I mean, a day could range anywhere from 8 to 12 hours. And then I would get off work. And then at the end of that, I would have some more eggs, literally with salt, maybe something to drink, maybe a little bit of protein powder with yogurt. So the carbs are super minimal, but it was mainly just a 1-to-1 ratio of protein to fat, because that's kind of how eggs come out. And then if I add in a scoop or two of protein powder and some sort of yogurt for a sugar treat, that's like, an extra 50 grams of protein. So it's a little off. But on those days, man, I was eating probably 2,000, 2,200 calories, and I was not hungry at all, right? Like on some of those, I could probably have stopped when I was around like 1,600 calories, 1,700 calories. I just didn't want to go to bed hungry. So I did that, And Sunday I had a carb day. Wasn't even like a high day that I usually have, because all I did was focus on carbs. I didn't focus on fats. I didn't focus on proteins. I just got all my calories that day from carbs. Had like around 700, 800 grams of carbs. Next day went to the gym. Felt great. Felt fine. A little bit sort of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's sort of that keto feeling when you don't have a lot of muscle glycogen, you kind of stall out. I had that a little bit, but today I just hit legs and I only ate around 2,000 calories yesterday, and I felt great and I felt fine. So that's sort of going to be my protocol, is just 3 or 4 days in a row of sugar fasting with some protein, and then the other 3 or 4 days, just depending on how the week goes, will be mainly like a carnivore type diet. You know, there's no real power in the name unless you like to call yourself, you know, a carnivore dieter or a sugar dieter, right? It's just sort of the where you fall in line if you're doing the dieting. So again, sugar diet is just like a utilization of carb cycling, except it's full send on only carbs on one day. So carb cycling works where you have high carb days, low carb days, blah, 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 blah. Well, with sugar dieting, it's straight carbs. You don't count the fats, you don't count the proteins, and then you'll have a protein day, and then you do a sugar fast day with high carbs again. It's really as simple as that, but I think just people, it's a clickbait. We all get interested in the clickbait, and it's all part of the game of YouTube and dieting, but I feel like I go back and forth when I talk in these, but it's whatever. I just want to see what people are doing and see what they have the best progress with, because I think for me, cutting weight and cutting fat wise, the protocol of 3 to 4 carnivore days or 3 to 4 sugar fast days is what's going to work best for me. So let's see what other people are doing. Keep it up.